Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me all right? Welcome into another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ, little live trading edition. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. As of right now, it is just me. Not sure where Jim or Steve are, but that's all right. I had to miss, Tuesday's stream. I'm sure Dom filled you in, but I came down with a terrible case of food poisoning. Thank you for those who gave me some well wishes. I would say, 80% back. I would say I was 95% back to normal as of last night, but I did have my first full meal at Christmas dinner, ate about a third of what I normally would, and it still feels like I am full. I haven't digested any of the food, what it feels like. So not fully gone of it yet, but obviously much better. Oh my God, I felt like I was dying when I was in the middle of it. So obviously well enough to do a stream, so here we are. And again, as always, Wednesday was Christmas, so I hope everyone had a great Christmas who celebrate. Dom and I at the time decided to say, let's just move the live trading, what's normally on Wednesday, to today on Thursday. And then for the Flovers, you originally guys had a webinar scheduled for Tuesday. Obviously, I was sick, so we couldn't do that. We'll move that to probably tomorrow. So we'll do live trading for the Clovers tomorrow with a little bit longer of Q&A. Obviously, today is just going to be the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the open or so. So let's get right to it. Let's start talking about some of the tickers I'm watching. Good morning, chat. How we doing? Feel free to ask questions. We'll get to them. Shouldn't take me 10 minutes for the open to go over the watch list here. I have RGTI up, but this isn't really on the watch. I'm just kind of watching the entire quantum sector as a whole. It does look like they seem to be rolling over. RGTI is gapping down today. QBTS is also gapping down, but QUBT is the one I'm swinging. I have a 1830 average, so not the best. Kind of wish I was up in the 19s, risking 20. But also gapping down here. This has been the weakest of the three, so I'm happy with my decision to short this one over the others. And again, I think if the others roll over harder, so will this one. So we will be seeing that. Another swing I have on is TNXP. TNXP, if those who know how this one goes, has been one of the more dilutive companies in the market. They just constantly dilute, reverse split. Oh, there's Jim. But dilute, reverse split over and over and over again. And so here we are now, a week ago, spiked as high as $2. I know it opened at 130s or 120s, but it went as high as 2, pulled back to 30s, then it got absolutely crushed. Off of the 6-6 bounce, it got short into this bounce, and now we are fading, and I think we will continue to fade into the 20s. So we're swinging that. In terms of the day trades, we have LAES. I have started in short at 542. Forgive me, I thought it was 543. Let me actually show the chart here. The candle's up right here. So a little bit in pre-market ago. Started in short, risking yesterday's bounce highs of 572. I think this bounce high is a pretty good level, considering it also kind of topped out there a couple times in pre-market. We'll see. I think if it's going to work for a red day, it should go down to like the high to mid 4s. However, this daily chart kind of shows a history of it not doing the traditional red day shuffle, so to speak, if you want to call it, right? This day should have been probably a good one. It wasn't. This day probably should have been a good one. It wasn't. Then the next day was okay. And so here we are looking decent. We'll see if we finish decent. So only a starter on. There's no rush for me for that fear that there just might be some choppy frustration in the price action. And then other than that, all the gappers for me. So not all, I'm ignoring some, but the ones I like the best are SPRC. This one has a really good history of just pooping its pants every time it gaps up, right? Probably once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10 times maybe it runs. Yeah, it's run a few times, but more times than not, it's pretty much crapped itself. So we're watching for that. We also then have MGIH as well, up 166%. Former runner, but again, a one and done kind of a day. So we'll see if this gap into resistance is either going to be a failure or a secondary run. And then ZCAR is the last one here as well, which has some history of capping, but also has some history of running. So we'll see. Actually just ran recently, 4 days ago or so, but we're gapping back into that resistance. So same thing with MGHI or IH. Will the former resistance be enough to keep it down or not? So that's it for me. Anyways, Jim, how we doing? Thanks for
Hey, Steve. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I was just letting chat know I'm probably like 70, 80% there. I had a meal last night.
70, 80.
Yeah, I had a meal last night, and it was my first meal, full meal since then. But I haven't really digested it since. I still feel it's been 12 or 13 hours since I've eaten, and it still feels like I'm on a full stomach. So a little bit weird. My stomach's not fully
Really?
back, but we're much better than what I felt before because I felt like I was dying. It was terrible.
I've been telling you for years, you got to lay off the vegan shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. For those who are curious, it was well, me and my fiance Kelly, we think it was a Caesar salad because we'd gone to dinner and the only thing we shared was a Caesar salad, and like perfect on the time, and like 2 or 3 hours later, we both just it just hit us like a brick wall, and so we think it was that, but we'll
What?
never know for
What?
sure.
The dressing?
I don't know. I want to chalk it up to like dirty lettuce. I don't know. It tasted a little funny when we ate it, but I finished it because it didn't wasn't too bad. But yeah.
Well, we're
So
happy you're back at it.
yes, thank you,
Um,
sir.
and we'll get into it. Ooh, did I post my watch list in there? I can't get on Chrome. This laptop is, what's the word? Spammed or whatever. If I open Chrome, a bunch of poppers will pop up.
Mm.
And so let me go. I think it was a pretty light watch list. To do. All right. Well, I'm in Cooler overnight, KULR. Um, Kind of too many tries on that last week. If you're in the room, you kind of saw me mess around with it every time it was in the 280s and 90s, and then stopping out of the 260s and 70s. And then when it actually went, I was in there and had to buy dips, and I bought right around into $3 after that first spike. And then it was Christmas Eve, and I do church and a bunch of stuff. So during after hours, just kind of held on because it has a good history of gapping, and we are gapping up slightly to yesterday's highs right now, right around 350. So usually the money's been made in the gap ups on this one on day two, but because we didn't run that far on day one, and I'm just gonna kind of let it play out, find a new risk level this morning, and see if it's just kind of lagging, and maybe we'll speed up towards four. I don't think 3 to 4 is that crazy on a stock that's broken out from sub a dollar went to 180, and then from 180 to three. I think it's very possible that we get a move towards four. So I'll be watching a morning spike there. NVNI is one that I'm watching. Why are these connected? Um, NVNI for a first green day. I haven't looked at anything today, so let's see where they are. I don't have a mouse. I hate not using a mouse. Did kind of go green on Tuesday, but immediately kind of failed and then closed right around red. Um, So watching that one this morning, volume is dropping off quite significantly after it's moved from 50 cents to 12. So if that were to set up 5 minute high break with a pretty tight spread, like if the spread's 15 to 20 cents, I'll just leave it alone. It's a holiday week, probably going to be less liquidity in general. So if it's not perfect, I'm okay leaving it alone. But that one is there. It's set up with good range to the upside from being down to 5 from 12. So I do think there's a possibility for 6, 7, 8 there. Um, what else on my list? Is RGTI still alive?
RGTI.
This is
Gapping
one that's
down.
just kind of third eye watch here. I'm kind of no longer looking at QBT, QBTS, RGTI soon as like a grouping, and more of if one wants to fail and the other one bounce, then they're going to kind of do their own thing. So this has been a good breakout candidate in the past couple weeks. So if it does set up again, I think there's a possibility to squeeze some shorts that are looking to swing short. And we're kind of in that good area now where, $10 to $15 where a breakout gets you multiple dollars a share. So watching that one around the $12 area, if that matters. So probably not right out of the gate or this morning, but is a third eye watch for me there. And then you probably talked about Lace, LAES,
Yes. Actually, pulling a little bit
gapping
harder.
down just slightly right now. Probably should have been here a little earlier. Try to grab some shares pre-market, but nice little gap down here now. Um, Too much further, and I won't chase. But this has been a tricky one. First red days haven't been all that great for it. So this is the best extension we've gotten. from actually running days from 2 to the 6s. I think, low to mid fours is possible. We just haven't really seen any sustained weakness on it on these first red days. We generally kind of see it be very choppy. So remember, it was the case down in that gap down in the ones, and then where was the first red day here? Around $3. It was kind of choppy. So I'm not sure if I will attack that one today, but the pattern is there for a first red day for, maybe 80 cents to $1 a share. That's my list. I'm in a hotel, obviously, so I got other stuff to do, celebrating my wife's Christmas, family Christmas. So
Nice.
if there's nothing ideal out of the gate, I'll be done for the day no matter what. But yeah, I'll try to sell my cooler and maybe shroud some lace.
Very nice. Got about a minute for the open here. Yeah, I do think lace is a tough one. I want to add, not here, but if it bounced into the open, the problem is it could totally do one of these, right, from December 13th. So I like this weakness. I'm just not fully convinced yet. The problem is with this situation, it's like, okay, if it's super weak and works, well, now I only have, my starter is only a third size. And if I add into a bounce, well, that's good. But then again, if it's bouncing, and then I question myself, well, is it going to be choppy again? So you kind of have to trust it and find out whether you're going to be okay small size on a winner or try to get your full size but be okay with the loser. So one of those tough scenarios. But we got 30 seconds here.
Really? Dude, I hate trading on a laptop. How's everyone doing out there? Everyone have a great Christmas?
Fernando asked, what about hour or add? Hour, let me look at hour. I was looking last night a little bit. It's just one day of running. There's nothing really here I see at the moment. It's gapping down. It needs some more structure here. And then add is a gapper, but add I think got some scam ties here. This is not natural action. So I decided to ignore that one, thinking it's a little bit sketchy. Some sketchy ties. So we're gonna ignore those. Here we are. We are open. Let's see if we bounce for LAES. I was thinking at least 530 bounce, so maybe the high of 529 will be it. Unfortunately, let's see.
Are your charts working perfectly on DOS?
They're working okay right now. Yeah.
I guess I have after hours turned off, but I can see Astra's after. It's probably because of the 1 p.m.
Yeah. Okay.
lows.
All right, we're gonna add some. Added a little bit of lace. We're 2/3 in now. Not gonna go full size yet because this can just spike right back straight up and be a little annoying. So we're gonna give it some time.
Are you risking yesterday's highs or that 570
We'll do the
area?
570s. Yeah, I got some more there at 532. Good failure so far. Nice fail for QUBT. Little stuff. Also, a ticker I had on my watch list, but I have changed my thoughts since the watch list. ABAT, formerly BM or ABML, back in the OTC world back in 2021. For those who remember it or were around, or doesn't go back. I got to ABML. ABML, and you go back. Hopefully, still have the chart up, right? Maybe? No? They get rid of it? Oh, I did wrong. ABML. Here we go. Right here. Beautiful run back in 2021. They've uplisted and changed their ticker to ABAT. Good run here, but I am going to do my best to actually just see it go higher today. It could totally die, and if it does, then so be it. I'm just in the world where, given the awkward half day yesterday, not yesterday, on Tuesday, it technically is extended enough, but it would just be really nice if it went one more day, and so I'm willing to miss it for that reason. So hopefully it goes one more. If not, oh well, it happens. I can't catch them all, and I'd rather be a little picky on them. So we'll see what that does today.
In the last time you started talking, am almost all out of cooler.
Oh,
Nice morning spike, 350 to 390s.
nice. Also,
The last one we
half
were,
day cooler, I think, didn't have. I would imagine if it was a full day, like you mentioned, I'm in pre market, this would have had a bigger candle and maybe a bigger gap up. But given the half day, it
Mhm.
looks maybe smaller or weaker range wise than it probably really would have been.
Yeah. This kind of move I was looking for. I know Jack was trading it. He was looking for 350. I thought that was a little too conservative. And I'm all out there, 394. There
Beautiful.
we go. A nice little 5 to 1er. Um, Now I feel really good about not being here any longer.
Quick, yeah, make your money and walk. I like it. Also, I think Cooler put out a PR in pre market there that they purchased. I don't know, like 100 Bitcoin or something. They're doing the little MSTR shuffle, so that may be bullish. Although Bitcoin's not that strong at the moment.
They're the trifecta. You talking about cooler?
Yeah, that's the thing. They're kind of everything. So I don't know if they're just favoring Bitcoin right now, but by buying some. But yeah, they've got a PR about practically everything. So
Space, Bitcoin, and AI, I
yeah, they're
think.
going to use Bitcoin to fund their spaceship, where they can then build AI on the moon.
Yes.
Whatever a combination they prefer. LAES still choppy. Looked good there, but again, right back. So just one of those kind of tickers, folks. Still watching the gappers, but nothing crazy. MGIH spiking pretty hard or
All
halted
up.
up at the moment. ZCAR looks to be potentially following. It's trying. SPRC, the weakest as expected, is dying, but again, no short for me yet. Going to try to give it some more time. My fear here is that this dies too much, so then I don't want to chase. But I'm hoping it gives some kind of bounce, and then I can get short. But it might just die too much too soon, which would suck. But it's also kind of expected, and I guess I maybe should have adapted better for that, given how much it can fail right away. But part of me wants to still add lace here, but just so choppy. And thank you in the chat. 217 Bitcoin for Cooler. So that's quite a lot. All right, I'm being a little aggressive here. I added my last piece of LAES. Don't know if I love it because it could still bounce, but I just feel like this is rolling over enough to where a new low should be coming. Oh, okay. It's a good start. At this point, probably will risk red green. I don't love it just yet, but at the same time, if it's going to look this weak, it probably should do it here. It shouldn't really be saving this kind of action. And speaking of saving, there we go, new low day, nice. QUBT coming all the way back, quite the recovery. A little unfortunate, but let's see. The rest are still weak, but RGTI is somewhat bouncing a bit as well. What about QBTS? Yeah, it's doing okay. Okay. Lace is the weakest, obviously, but they're different sectors. So we'll focus on this one. But I'm thinking, some of my watches, I'm thinking mid fours best case. Could do closer to 4, but I don't know. Just given the history, I'm not expecting too much from it. So really, 480 to 450 would be enough for me to feel like, okay, I probably should start taking it. But so far coming back, that's not great. Even more so. See, that last ad might be a mistake. Here we go. Okay. Fantastic. I don't even have my orders ready. Well, we're practically already here. Let's just use 3. Oh, and there's the risk from the first ads. Jesus. And we're going to cover.
Halt up.
Halting up. Wow. Terrible. Not half. Filling some more. All right, I'm all out. It's not gonna halt up now. Jeez Louise, just terrible. That was awful. It was so quick. Lost about $3,000 or so more than I wanted to. So frustrating, but not the end of the world. But there you go, folks. Just when you thought it was gonna look nice, they said, "Yeah, right." So okay, that's too bad. Probably won't reshort it. I think that proves my point there on this one, just being the same old, same old.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
We're up in the 430, so
Wow.
sold a little early there, but really nice day 2 so far.
Yeah, beautiful. Wow.
How are your gappers doing?
So let's see if Lace is going to go for yesterday's highs here, and there's the 6s. Pretty impressive. This makes me not want to short our first red day really ever on this one. I mean, we'll see if it goes to like 10 or something crazy, then eventually there'll be something decent. But I don't know. Just it's 3 times now. Our red day attempts have just not been great. So glad I haven't to take any losses on the first 2, but this third one here is annoying, given that I lost more to slippage and that it was so quick. A little bit unprepared on my part. I didn't have my order perfectly ready to cut. By the time I got it ready, it was already at the first risk of 570. So, okay, I guess we're just going to cut it there. But now we're halting up, 604. There we go. Z-Car with a hard failure. Haven't shorted yet. I hate thinking low a day's the entry, but we'll wait. We'll see if this bounces a newer level that I want to hold on to, because it hasn't really made any significant support level. I think it's breaking down just yet, so we'll wait and see there. MGHI still halted. QUBT still strong. Everything's green. RGTI is back green. QBTS as well. So quite the strength from the quantum sector here. For me, I'm risking 20, so there's a chance and there's a world that gets over that. Hopefully not today. That would really suck, because I've been pretty patient the last 3 days to kind of scale in short and let this really round over. Only for it to, it was really strong, just rage right back and stop me out. That would not be fun. But anyways, let's look at the chat. Feel free to ask your questions. Good Vibes mentions Lace had a PR mentioning quantum. Of course they did. But even then, I mean, that I guess it's a delayed reaction, so to speak, so they're running with quantum. But that weakness in the morning, I don't regret how I shorted it. I just, wish I was more prepared to cut at like 550. Had my order ready. That's unlike me, but. LILMF, any thoughts? Never even heard of it, so let's just take a look. 24 cents, obviously OTC being foreign. Volume's just low. Liquidity's low. Sure, it's got a little breakout look to it, I guess, but I don't know. I don't really see anything I love about it. Just given OTCs are not the same what they once were. Maybe I'm being too picky, but I guess technically over 19 level is good, but the next level is 30. So keep an eye on it, but there's nothing really about it I love per se. I guess the volume's okay if this continues at about $300,000 to $500,000 shares a candle. It could get bigger by the end of the day, but nothing I'm immediately drawn to. LES still halted. Sean also asked about QNCCF. That's also quantum, I think, but on OTC, even more illiquid. But gosh, what a bounce! Wow. Quantum is just not going away. It's a pretty resilient sector, if I do say so. Because when I think of sectors, at least in the small cap space, which I guess these quantum stocks are not just like small cap anymore because they've run from small cap into probably like more mid cap now. But when like AI would run, right, like sound back here, whenever it was any one of these runs, you had a little bit of choppiness. I guess these were more pretty choppy, but like this one died pretty quick. This one came back a little bit, but once that top got put in, died pretty quickly. These ones, quantums, I don't know. Yes, they've died so far, and maybe it's easier to say in hindsight, like maybe once this top is in, you could say it died pretty quickly, but these are holding up just slightly better than I would have expected, especially for what I think they're valued at. I don't want to play the fundamentals game, but just from at least QUBT, partly the reason why I'm willing to swing short this is like this thing is insane. This thing is the most, I would argue, the most overvalued company like in the market, just from a fundamental standpoint. And obviously that doesn't really necessarily matter because if the quantum's hot and the sector's hot and other more legit quantum runners are going up, then QUBT will just ergo follow. But just from a standpoint of like people can like look back at like where this will end up going and what it was worth up here, it's quite insane. They're trading at like I don't know, it's like 1,000x sales. Like they have $300,000 in revenue and they're trading at a $2.something billion valuation. Like it's insane. It's absolutely crazy. But again, it doesn't really matter when you're in a hot sector. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I just started to look at RGTI. Okay, well, I'm
possibly breaking out here. It's crazy.
really nice little 3-day breakout plus the weekly breakout. Kind of just going straight up right now, so no rush. The real breakout is, well, no, that can't be right. Oh, 1275. So almost there right now. This has been a sector where buying the breakout has been fruitful, regardless of what the price action is into it. I just really can't get behind doing it most of the time. So I'll be patient. That 12 area is the area I'm watching. So like to see some holds here. Probably wide risk type of idea, down to low a day, green, red, and then try to be in this for today and tomorrow if this whole sector is strong. And probably really just going to focus on RGTI.
Certainly the best looking. The closest to the highs, QBTS, it's a bit a ways away, and then QUBT is the furthest away. But RGTI definitely looks the best by far. Did Lace break out here? It did. Wow. Pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give it a couple more minutes for any last-minute questions, but that seems to wrap it up here. The dust is kind of settled. Trends have been set. And now it's just a matter of will they continue for the day? And it would be a perfect world, and I think it's unlikely, but perfect world, the legit quantums continue higher and the illegit ones don't. But that's just me trying to pick the winners and avoid the losers here, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks to be kind of the opposite. I feel like Tuesday was mostly a heavy day, right? And today kind of feels like more strength across the board.
Yeah. Well, and that's why maybe I'm slightly hopeful. Like, it's not complete delusion because, like, clearly QUBT has been weaker. Like, not only on the actual pullback itself, but even on these bounces, right? Like, you know, on the 23rd, there was a clear red candle that actually went red on the day and closed slightly green. On the 23rd for the rest, 23rd, still a red candle, but much more green. Held much more range or more upside. Didn't even get close to red green. And I think QBTS did the same thing. Had a wick to the downside. Actually closed a green candle. So these have been much stronger than its counterpart of QUBT. The question is, it doesn't matter though. Like, I have a risk level, I have a trade plan, and you know, all you need is enough strength from the sector to get this thing going, just enough to stop me out. So we'll see. You know, even like right now, QUBT is up almost 8%, RGTI is up 13%, and QBTS is up 10%. So it's still the weakest even now. But again, that doesn't mean much when, let's say, in an hour, these are all up double percentage points, and then QBT is stopping me out.
Yeah, there was a breakout RGTI. So we'll see. I'll be watching dips. Probably will force a trade on this no matter what, just because I do want to make sure I'm taking breakouts when they happen. But I just can't do it here. Can't buy 1275.
Yeah, it's tough after this kind of move.
1075.
It's pretty impressive.
What's the other ones doing, like SOUN and?
Good point. But hold on, I'm watching ZCAR here. ZCAR, I might actually get short. This actually looks somewhat decent. Somewhat of a bottom. But it's SOUN. Let's look. So yeah, going up. Coming back still. You know? Wow. It's just impressive, man. These are just holding really well.
Looks like there might be some opportunities into the end of the week here.
Yep. QBTS pretty straight up so far. Nothing but green candles here. Pretty impressive. Excuse me. There we go. Maybe a pullback. RGTI, let's see that as well. Yeah, maybe starting a little bit. Maybe not. We'll see. But anyways, question here, what started the quantum move and which ticker is the leader? So I think the quantum move was very similar to the AI move earlier this year, where it was what? Microsoft invested, what was like 10 billion, something crazy into OpenAI and ChatGPT, and I think that really started the AI craze, and then NVIDIA, and then, you know, so forth. This one, it's what Google came out with their Willow quantum computing chip, which is like the fastest chip they've been able to create in quite some time by a significant margin. which is good, which is great, but I don't think from what I've seen is really tied into these particular companies. Like it's just always funny. It's like I get why the trickle down effect from the large caps into the small caps here, because yes, there will be winners from the lower price stocks like this when you compare it to something like Google. I just find it funny though that people will, instead of just continue to bet on Google, will then try to find and pick the winner, because there are people genuinely who are picking the winner being QUBT, and I am like 99% certain like they will be mistaken that they thought this was it, right? So I think that's the momentum. I haven't seen anything else other than that reason. Which again, for momentum's reason, it is a good reason, but that's why I'm still a little bit perplexed, as you've heard me in the stream, of like, that's great, but for how long this has maintained itself is pretty impressive. Great, Google came out with a chip, that's awesome. What does it mean for the entire other sector of quantum computing? Not much. Unless they're going to steal Google's plans, which again is just more of Google getting their recognition. So,
Let it go as long as it wants, though.
yeah. As long as it'll be here, we'll have it. So, but anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. So far, if I don't gather any wins elsewhere, it might be a red day thanks to LAES. However, TNXP is fading pretty well here. This could easily do sub 30 today, and if it does, I probably take it. And that will certainly be a big winner that would put me green on the day. So we'll see. There's still plenty of time left in the day. Not a half day today. It's going to be back to full regular schedule. So yeah, thanks so much, guys. Any final words, Dobbs, before we leave them?
No final words. I guess some final words. End of the year coming quickly. We celebrate Christmas. New Year's is next. This is a great time to go through the year, all the ups and downs. Hopefully you took good data. You wrote down every trade. Maybe you have screenshots of good executions, bad executions, lessons learned. And now the time to start prepping for next year. Start to, back when I was in the start of my journey, 2017, 18, I started making video lessons, not necessarily because I thought I could teach people, but because they helped me a lot of just going through, just talking through my issues and coming up with solutions. So that way, when you start the new year, you're kind of going full speed. You don't, month to month, week to week, year to year, you don't want to be making the same mistakes over and over. So now's a great time to dissect your trading, the psychology of yourself and your abilities, and make really good detailed plans for the new year, so that you can hit it full steam ahead. So that's what I'll be doing probably this weekend, making some videos, going through the data, doing all of Kyle's spreadsheet tracking stuff that you can get over at clovertrade.io, and getting ready for the new year. I'm pretty pumped for 2025. So hope you guys had a great Christmas, and we will be rocking and rolling today and tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, beautiful. Last thing, real quick. We also have, obviously, a Christmas sale going on. I will put this link in the chat. Ending in about 5 days, so once the new year comes and goes, this will be it. Let me put in the chat for you guys here. It says on the website there, the links, but it's Holly 30, 40, or 50. Get 30, 40, or 50% off on various 3, 6, or 12-month subscriptions. And then also, I'm sure, Dom, you've mentioned it in the previous streams, but we are having our first boot camp of 2025 in Los Angeles. Let me send that link as well for those who want to get in on that. It'll be in March, and so we'll keep spreading. It's a soft launch so far. Everything's getting put together. We already got the hotel and the place, the venue, so forth. But yeah, you'll start hearing more about that here. But these are probably the cheapest prices they'll be. But so if you're interested in showing up to one of those, feel free to join us there too. And we'd love to have you. So without further ado, thanks so much, guys. And we will see you again tomorrow. But tomorrow will be 8:45 Eastern, back to the normal Good Morning NASDAQ timing. And so we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Sounds good.
Peace.